Welcome to the Critical Cinema Club. I'm Colin,
I'm Sean.
and today we are going to discuss video game movies.
Yes.
So,
The good, the bad, and the ones that should be.
there you go. Whether they're ugly or not.
Yes. So what we're going to do in this episode, we're going to try and structure it. So I want to start off with the few and far ones that I think have actually been done quite well.
Yeah.
I think in recent times more so. I think there's been a quest, hasn't there, to get the actual the good video game movie. I think it's been quite elusive for a lot of these film studios.
There's a lot more bad films
Definitely.
than there are good.
Definitely. So this is not going to be an exhaustive list. There'll be plenty of others that we don't touch on. Please comment below. Let us know what we've missed, and happy to discuss further in the comments. But these are the ones that we can think of today.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to kick off with what I think is a pretty good video game film.
All right. If you say Resident Evil, I'm done. I'm not watching The Greatest Showman.
Right, well, that's been the... No, you know what? And it surprised me, and it surprised everybody, I think. Sonic the Hedgehog.
I knew you was going to say that as well.
That had a really...
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah, the second one. It's got Knuckles in it.
I know, yeah.
So the first one, if everyone can remember, it was destined to be a horrendous film because that first trailer. Do you remember? What
when
Sonic looked like?
they changed what Sonic, because they wanted Sonic to look more like
Real,
human or something.
It just looked horrible. I was like, why have they done this?
Making a hedgehog look more human. I don't know if that's, but yeah, it looked terrible, didn't it?
And then it's one of those rare times that they'd listened to what people were saying.
Yeah.
They managed to salvage it, and it was actually pretty good film.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. It wasn't going to win any Oscars, but it was.
It's got Jim Carrey doing his thing.
It was
a
funny.
good return to form for him because I think he was not doing so well before then.
Yeah, kind of a bit of a lull period. There was certain things going on in his personal life and stuff, which we won't get into any of that.
No, but I think it was a return to form.
Yes, definitely. I think so as well. I thought that was a solid, funny performance from Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it was good. Not who I picture when I think of Dr. Robotnik.
No, who would you picture as Dr. Robotnik?
Oh,
I'd have someone like John Goodman.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah,
basically look for someone
rotund
on the chunkier side,
like David Brent.
But I think he's lost a lot of weight, John Goodman.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. That works.
Do you know? I think would make a good Dr. Robotnik.
Go on,
Keith from The Office.
Now, do you have any weaknesses? Eczema.
Don't know.
So that, I think that's a good example of it done well because they met the objectives.
Yeah,
a good family film with Sonic the Hedgehog in it.
James Marsden's in it.
Yeah, they've done what they have to do with a lot of these things, like Transformers, respectively. It has to have humans in it everywhere. Because
of course they do.
You can't have
it's got to be relatable.
I guess, and also it's the cost of the CGI. You can't have a film on the Hillview Zone, I guess. Is that the name of the first level?
I think so, yeah.
Hill Zone?
Don't you live on Hillview Close?
Let's cut that bit out. I don't want to dox myself.
Sorry, I'm not going to...
But that's probably is what's happened, yeah. So... they can't make a whole film based on Hill Zone. They have to bring it here. And that's what they did with Transformers, a lot of the other films. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But Sonic being here in the real world, that's a good concept. I think people want to see that. Yeah.
I mean, that worked quite well. And you see what you say with the humans. There's another one that I'm sure is coming up very soon where they don't have any humans in it at all.
Whole
Well, not on that particular one, but there was a previous version. Which is, anyway.
But Sonic... right, because I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and they are a good barometer of how good a film is. Because you and me can talk our way around a bad film if we have to, but a kid will just tell you straight up,
whether they enjoy it or not. Yeah,
but even the other day, we still talked about Sonic because I'm on a maths course at the minute, and we're working out how many joules you expend.
How many rings?
Yes. So how many joules you'll expend when you're doing certain activities, whatever. She goes, well, how many does Sonic, use up? And because it still comes up because she enjoyed the film and it's part of her popular culture now.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
So that's a good example of a good film.
I think that's a good shout for a good. Yeah, it's probably one of the better ones. Probably one of the best ones.
This next one, you might not have seen it, and it might be another Greatest Showman situation where you go, what? I'm telling you, Detective Pikachu.
No, not for me.
Have you seen it?
No.
But I'm telling you, it's a good film.
Okay, well,
It's got Deadpool as Pikachu.
I struggle with Ryan Reynolds.
But this works.
I find Ryan Reynolds to be such an irritating person to like. I like Deadpool film. The first Deadpool film is very good. Second one not quite so good, but yeah, it's fun enough. But
I like the second one more than the first one.
Watching the that first series of Welcome to Wrexham, as a big football fan that supports a club that are in the same league as them now, I just watch that and I think everything about Ryan Reynolds just annoys me now.
Yeah, he plays a very similar character.
Yeah,
because have you seen that? We talked about it before. There's
Sorry,
that's right. There's that film with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds in it,
Gal Gadot, and
but they are just themselves.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds can only play himself, though. It has to be the sharp-tongued quips and witty humour, banter, and it's the same thing, whether he's swearing or not. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Like, what was that one when he's in he's actually in a computer game itself, and this is one.
Free Guy.
What a bad film that is, honestly.
That's some okay moments.
I was watching that thinking to myself that this has got to have been written by AI.
Yeah, a bit like the other one he was in with The Rock.
Yeah, it does. Honestly, that's what it feels like. And it's just Ryan Reynolds just playing Ryan Reynolds. It's Mr. Likeable, but I've got an attitude and all that.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, why don't you just fuck off?
You're getting angry again.
Ryan Reynolds, no.
We are talking about Pikachu.
Yeah. I was never big on Pokemon. My older brother used to be.
There's a huge
mad
crowd
on it.
for it.
Oh God, yeah, don't
huge
get me.
Crowd.
When they brought out the Pokemon game on the app on the iPhone a couple of years ago, and you get random people just stopping in the street in front of you trying to take a photograph of a curb. I'm like, what are you doing?
I saw someone playing that at a wake. Not kidding. Grown man playing it at a wake.
Oh my God.
So I was at the bar and I looked down and it's I've got my suit and that on and everyone else got, and I looked down, there's this guy and he's searching for Pokemon at the wake. I thought time and a place. But
time and a place. That's really terrible.
But genuinely, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. I think it is a good film.
Okay.
Moving on. This is a good segue. Super Mario. You've got
which one?
Well, this is the segue.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen the new one, but I'm told it's very good.
I've heard more positive about it than I have negative. A couple of people said it's a bit. My older brother went to see it and he thinks it was brilliant, but
it sounds like it's on a par with Sonic. Kind of thing. Done well.
I think the benefit they had was Sonic was already out. Sonic was already there.
That paved the way.
Yeah. So and it's Chris Pratt doing Chris Pratt.
Well, that was a lot of controversial.
Yeah,
that was controversial casting because the guy who's done the voice historically didn't get cast in the film, and people were like, well, that is Mario to me.
Yeah, Mario is an Italian accent.
Well, I think that was like their Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
for Mario was dismissed for Chris Pratt, basically. But whatever. But apparently it's good. But you and me, at our age, will remember the first Super Mario film.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, what a stinker.
I wish I didn't remember it.
What a stinker that film is.
That was terrible.
They conned everybody with that film because we were all expecting, because you and me at that time, we played it on Nintendo and all that. And that was not Super Mario. It wasn't.
It was out of that era where a lot of these properties, whether they came from toys or they came from video games or they came from comics, and they were making films out of pretty much any property they can get their hands on. And most of them were bad, such as Super Mario was terrible. I think Bob Hoskins admitted that he was drunk the whole time through filming that. And,
well, you'd have to be.
And it was one of those ones where he just did it for the paycheck. Same as Michael Caine did Jaws the Revenge purely because it bought him a house.
Yeah, well, that's the quote, isn't it? Someone asked him, have you actually seen this film? They said, no, but I've seen the house it built.
Yeah, what a quote that is.
That is great.
But the other films they kind of came out with around that same time was Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. That was
another one. He-Man in name only, really.
Yeah, it could have been anything. It was just not a good film at all. It was terrible. The other film that came out, everybody was excited for, but it turned out to be brilliant. But then went bad in the sequels. Was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And the third one, I'm just going to segue slightly here. The third one was the one when they go back in time, and it was very loosely based on the Turtles in Time computer game. And they wanted to use that premise, but what they came out with was just nothing compared to what it could have been. So you could say that the third one is loosely based on a computer game.
Yeah.
But the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, absolutely brilliant.
It was good. Go Ninja, go.
No, that was the second one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what I took away from that.
That was, yeah.
So, a good segue from that then. Grabbing any properties they could in the 90s. Street Fighter.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Remember that?
This is probably one that's also on your list as well. So, you had the two biggest fighting games of all time, both made into films in the 90s. One was really good, and I say really in a very loose way, and one was really bad. So Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme playing the American Guile.
Yeah.
And then you had Kylie Minogue was in it, wasn't she? As, was it, what character did she play? Cammy?
I can't remember, mate. I do know, I remember a bit.
Oh, it's terrible. Honestly. And then you had it was quite a big cast as well, because obviously you've got a lot of characters in there. But the characters that everybody always loved, and this is my opinion, so if I'm wrong on this, was Ken and Ryu were the biggest draws.
They're the main characters in my mind, aren't they, for Street Fighter?
So why was Guile the one that was the main character in that? What whose idea was that? Just because they could get Jean-Claude Van Damme? Let's face it, Jean-Claude Van Damme is not a good actor.
No,
he's an action person. He's a glorified stuntman, not a good actor.
No,
and you had Raul Julia as Bison, who was brilliant in it. He just completely ate up all the scenes.
That's the main bad guy, right?
Yeah,
because I think if I remember my trivia, he was like dying.
I think he died not long. It was either around about the time it was released, or again, research isn't our strong point.
But I have seen that before. I think he was dying, and I think he wanted to make this. Did his kid like Street Fighter or something?
I think it was. Yeah, he wanted to do the film for his kid before he passed away, sadly. But it was obviously also in Adams Family.
Oh right,
Gomez Adams. So, but yeah, that is a terrible film. But the good film that you're probably going to come to this anyway, was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
I think that's brilliant. But Mortal Kombat's directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who did the Resident Evil films. Yeah. Paul W.S. Anderson is Mr. Computer Game Movie.
That's got a special place in my childhood. That film. It was good for what it was.
I think it's a good film. It's not a good film as in it's going to win Oscars. It's it's highly acclaimed or anything. But it's a good film because of its entertainment value.
Have you seen the new one?
Yes,
I didn't think
it was terrible. It's not as good as a 90s one.
When I put it on, I watched it just a couple of weeks ago actually.
Yeah.
And in the first act, I thought, wow, they're actually making a film. This is a proper cinematic movie.
Yeah,
and it's good. But then I was trying to work out who the main character was supposed to be. And
it was a little all over the place with that, wasn't it?
But my big problem with that film, right, is when the guy comes back from the dead and he's Scorpion.
Yeah.
Get over here! But he doesn't speak English. And then he goes back to Japanese.
Yeah.
So, but I thought they were setting that up for the main guy to become Scorpion, because I thought, well, to me, I think Scorpion's is the most popular character.
Him and Liu Kang.
Yeah. But I think Scorpion, is the one most people our age remember.
Yeah, Scorpion and Liu Kang are probably the top ones, and then there are other characters in there which I think are really
Sonya.
Sonya Blade.
But there will be people typing straight away that maybe Scorpion wasn't the best character. But no. I think average Joe on the street, you say Mortal Kombat, get over here.
Yeah,
is the one everyone remembers.
Sub-Zero as well.
Sub-Zero, he was all right in it. Yeah. I thought it was good.
Did you know that in WCW during the Attitude Era, they had a wrestler called what was his name? There was a wrestler in WCW that was purely based on Sub-Zero.
Really?
Called Glacier.
That's not a good name.
And there was a heel wrestler that he was constantly fighting, was almost like what's the name baddie called? The one with the skull mask.
I know you mean. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either. But they set up this old blood runs cold feud thing on WCW during the Attitude Era based on Mortal Kombat.
That's ridiculous. Do you know in WCW, I can't remember if it was a character or an event, but they didn't do the research. They called it the Final Solution. And they had to scrap it because someone pointed out that was like what Hitler was doing.
Yeah.
So they had to scrap the final solution.
Oh. So Mortal Kombat gets. It's got Christopher Lambert in it. I forget his Christopher Lambert as Raiden.
Yeah. Because the new one, it's good. I like it. There's potential there. There was some complaints I saw online that they don't actually have Mortal Kombat in it.
No.
But they do set up some good fights. You know what was good about it? I liked it a lot. And I will forego the complaint about not actually having a Mortal Kombat, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to kill them before Mortal Kombat can take place.
Yes.
So what they do is to track them down to wherever they are in the world, and they have fights with them. And I thought that's really good, because in these fighting games they're always on different locations, and I thought that's a really good nod to that type of game.
So the first Mortal Kombat film that came out in 90, what year did it come out? 96? Was it 96? 95. So that one felt a little bit like Enter the Dragon. By the way it's set up, these people come together to do a tournament on an island, and turns out it gets a little bit more mystical and stuff. And Liu Kang's there because it's a revenge mission against what's the name of the baddie? Shang Tsung, I think, the baddie in that one. So and they go to the Netherworld or whatever it's called, Outworld or something, towards the end of the film, and he's doing that.
Well, he does the kicks at the end, doesn't he? Like the main move.
Yeah, that. I think it's the sound effect that he makes in the game.
But it's like he's flying at him and kicking at the same time. It goes on for like 10, 20 feet or something. And I thought, that's it. That's the big move.
Yeah, so the Mortal Kombat 95 film was, for me, there's a lot of Enter the Dragon vibes there, and Bruce Lee obviously being the main person in Enter the Dragon. Liu Kang was very much based on Bruce Lee as a character as well. So no, I like the 95 version. I thought it's Christopher Lambert's just chewing up all the scenery every time he's on screen. I like Goro with the 6 arms. That is brilliant. There's no CGI there with it. The only CGI in that film is awful, with the reptile, I think is the character. That is terrible CGI. But Goro is just a big guy in a suit and stuff. And he's got the arms, and I just think that it's so funny watching him fight. It's like Kirk fighting a Gorn in the original series of Star Trek.
Yeah. But you know, Christopher Lambert, how did he ever get work? I don't think I've seen him act well in anything ever.
Not even in Highlander. He had to learn English to be in Highlander as well.
Why did who owed him a favour?
What makes me laugh about Highlander is you've got a Frenchman playing a Scotsman. You've got a Scotsman playing a Spaniard.
Yeah, wrong.
How does that make sense?
Rubbish. Right, so we're going into the dark territory now. We're going rogue.
We're going rogue, are we? Okay.
We're entering the section where these films maybe not quite as good as the ones we started off with,
like the first Super Mario film.
Yes. So Assassin's Creed. What do you think about that?
I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was boring.
Do you know what? It was just there.
Yeah, it was. It's one of these ones, and I'm sure this is going to come up on your list in a minute. It's the fact that there's this property. It's quite a popular game. And we have to make something of it to make more money out of it, and we're going to use a popular actor in the role to kind of bring this, like Michael Fassbender, brilliant actor. The film wasn't very good at all, and Michael Fassbender's not really done an awful lot in the last couple of years, pretty much since the fall of the X-Men films. This wasn't very good. Alien Covenant wasn't very good. Obviously, he's in the new Killer. He's in the new Killer film with directed by David Fincher, and I haven't seen it yet, so hopefully that one's going to be like the revival of this.
Hopefully, because it's a Fincher film, that isn't it? And I said in that Fight Club video, he's not made a bad film yet.
No, he hasn't. So, I'd even say that Alien 3 is not a bad film. It serves its purpose. But Michael Fassbender at that point was very well regarded in other roles, and especially as Magneto, and he's a very good actor. Oh God, no! I just found it dull.
It was just, I can't remember anything about it. No, really, it was just there.
And the other one, which was very similar to that, and I think you're probably going to mention, with a popular actor again from a comic book character.
Go on.
Was Tom Holland in Uncharted?
I will refuse to watch it.
I haven't seen it
because the games were that good. Yeah, they almost didn't need a film. So that should have been Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
but obviously he's a bit older now, so maybe not.
But the character was based on Nathan Fillion, wasn't he?
But they could have found a way to use him. I think.
Yeah.
They even made a fan film with him as Nathan Drake.
Oh, I didn't know
check,
that.
Yeah, if you check it out, it's really good.
Oh, okay.
But then it was going to be Mark Wahlberg, and I was like, what?
He was in it though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but as Sully.
Oh, right, okay.
Because
old Marky Mark.
Yeah, but Sully is someone like, who would you? Not Robert De Niro, but someone.
The Rock.
Not the Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
But Mark Wahlberg as Sully did not look right to me, and then Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
No,
they are worlds away.
No, Tom Holland was too young.
He's good for a certain role, like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But not Nathan Drake. So I refuse to put my money there. No way.
Yeah.
So people who have seen it, please let me know if we ought to watch it. But
yeah, it's never appealed to me.
It's not something I feel I have to watch because the games were so good.
Yeah.
So well done in terms of story and acting. They were almost like films you played, weren't they?
Some of those ones I'm sure we're going to mention ones further down the line. There are certain games that probably didn't make films out of them, but we'll come to them at the end.
Yes.
But, yeah, there are plenty of those.
Right.
You feel like you're playing a film.
What did you think about the Tomb Raider films?
Which ones? The ones with
whole.
Angelina Jolie or the new
well,
one?
I haven't seen the new ones yet.
I only seen the first one with Angelina Jolie, and I started watching the new one, and I switched the new one off.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's the girl from what's the one which is a machine?
Short Circuit.
Yes. No, she's in the one with
Oscar Battle Isaac. Angel.
No, Oscar Isaac.
Oh, sorry, Ex Machina.
Yeah. She was good in that.
Ex Machina is a brilliant film.
That was really good.
Alex Garland is probably one of my heroes when it comes to filmmaking and writing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed The Beach that he wrote.
Yeah, The Beach is a great.
That was
Leonardo DiCaprio and.
But that was based on a novel he wrote.
Yeah,
so I really enjoyed that novel. That was really good.
Danny Boyle, great director on that one. But another great Alex Garland film which he wrote, and I think he may have ghost directed, was Dredd.
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great film.
Anyway, I wish they'd do another one.
I wish they'd have done a follow-up to that as well.
But Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie.
Chris Barry was in it as her butler, wasn't he? Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
That film was made for a very specific audience, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't get made today like that.
No way would it.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a certain appeal
to
the film, wasn't
there? But the games had a certain appeal.
It married up with the games.
Interesting fact about the games. Now, I say this is a fact, but I might be wrong, but I do believe that the developers, Eidos, were from Derby.
They are. Well, we've got Lara Croft Way.
Yes, we've got Lara Croft Way in Derby, yeah.
Which is probably the closest city to where we're sat at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So the Tomb Raider films, they were what they were.
Yeah, they had a certain appeal to. I never saw the second one. I wasn't really interested in. I didn't like the first one that much. I thought it was just 90s cheese, really, wasn't it? Was it early 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s. But it falls into that category of like the next one I'm going to come to, which is Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Got an attractive young woman in there running around.
Mary Sue.
Yeah. Very much a Mary Sue, isn't she? Tomb Raider.
Yeah. Angelina Jolie at that time was like the biggest sex symbol.
Oh, she was. Yeah, she
female
was
sex symbol, and
she had lads drooling, didn't she? Basically.
Yeah, I'm drooling now for different reasons.
What? Because you're looking at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Cut that little bit out, it's fine.
No, leave it in. Oh my god, you're literally dribbling. You just spat out him.
But when you said leave it in, I was a bit like, didn't even put it in there.
Well, you can't see this. You obviously can't see this, but Colin laughed and he dribbled all down his chin. Oh dear.
Yeah, that was awful.
So Tomb Raider is right in the mix with that type of film.
Yeah.
And then, as is Resident Evil. We've talked about this quite a few times.
I know, we don't need to go too far into Resident Evil, but Resident Evil directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who directed Mortal Kombat, and he's got a bit of a reputation for directing video game films, hasn't he? So
he's done a good job with what property he's had.
Yeah.
Resident Evil is what it is.
Yeah.
It could have been a better film, maybe a different director in a different style, but the style he was going for, it's
just action schlock more than anything else.
I read at the time, the Resident Evil film basically it's about zombies, isn't it? Of course.
Yeah.
The zombies are only on screen for 11 minutes of that.
That's crazy.
I'm sure I heard that before.
That's mental.
But yeah, and then the Resident Evil films, they are so far departed from the franchise that spawned it. It's somewhat criminal in a way, actually. I like them for what
They've
are.
got nothing to do with the games.
There's a few characters that crop up in there.
Yeah, but story beat wise.
No, silly, really. But they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Very successful films, not critically acclaimed films.
No, they were never high cinema, were they? Paul W.S. Anderson's never winning awards for visuals.
But he's pulled in over $1 billion with those films.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. The thing is, they've got an audience.
There are people like me.
Yeah, they've got an audience. So
right, what did you think about the Silent Hill film?
I've never seen it. Is that the one with Sean Bean?
Yeah, as an American, which I hated.
Yeah. Hey up.
Hey up, me duck. You bastard.
One doesn't simply do an American accent.
What? That was Scottish.
That wasn't Scottish.
He just spat again. Right, when you play that back, you was literally like, one simply doesn't do an American accent.
Being Scottish is shite.
But he does an American accent, and his accent's almost as bad as your American accent there. It wasn't very good.
I can't do it, man. I can do a good Gollum accent. That's about it.
Yeah. That's just your real voice, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is the fake accent.
I'm putting this one on, yeah.
But in that film, everything... Did you play the games?
Yes, but I did, on the PS1 I did, yeah.
So they had a very eerie... It wasn't like action-packed.
They scared the shit out of me.
They were scary.
Yeah.
And I don't think they quite captured that.
No.
It was... bit of silliness about
just making some notes here if you're wondering what I'm doing.
I am wondering what you're doing.
Yeah, because I think I've just thought up of another film which you might not have.
Okay, well you keep it under your hat.
Yeah, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. So, what have you got next on the old critical cinema list of Doom?
Doom.
That was not even planned.
No, I'm literally looking at the word Doom. So what did you think about Doom starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
I actually liked it.
I enjoyed it.
It was shit in a really fun way.
But at the end, they at least did the FPS, that first-person shooter.
Yeah, that's where it all fell apart for me.
But at least they had a go at it.
Yeah, they tried something different in film, and they tried to tie it into the game. The Doom games, like the first one, they kept getting redone. I forget the name of the developer on it, but they're brilliant games.
But again, it's a bit like the main character, Doom Guy.
Yeah.
Right? There's a whole lore about him. He's been prophesized, I think, to destroy all the demons. They're frightened of him.
Yeah, he's never once done the rock bottom.
No. But it's very because it's funny because he's got like zero personality in the games because I've played a few of them.
Is it id Software that did?
I can't remember.
I think it's like ID Software, id Software.
But it's just this great concept that he goes like into. I think it's like another dimension.
Yeah, it's like hell and stuff as well.
But they're scared of him because he's Doom Guy.
Yeah, that was good.
Doom Guy. But then you've got this film starring The Rock.
I really do wish we had a camera on you there because when you said that, you did this little like swagger with your shoulders.
But so
The Rock was one of these at that point. It was your go-to. It still is.
Well, I think it was just emerging. He actually still looked like The Rock.
But I mean, Doom wasn't exactly going to be a summer blockbuster that everybody was really itching to see.
It was that early 2000s type of. Great, you saw a lot
Black
of
and those kind of films.
That genre.
Is it got Carl Urban in it?
Yeah.
I thought it did.
But that was okay. I've not put it in.
I thought it was fun.
It was okay. I've not put it in the good list.
No, it's middle of the road kind of. It's
on the sour side.
Yeah, you don't need to be drunk to enjoy it.
No. So we've now. Well, actually, there's one film here that I haven't yet watched. Gran Turismo.
Oh, it's just come out, hasn't it? I haven't seen it.
And it says it's based on a true story. What's going on there?
I don't know what the story is. So, is it someone that's played the game and they wanted to go and
and they're racing real life?
Yeah.
Judgment reserved on that. Reserve judgment on that one. We'll see. It doesn't look special to me.
It's got Hopper in it.
Has it?
Yeah, Hopper from David Harbour from Stranger Things.
We'll see.
And Legolas. What's his name?
Legolas, you just said it.
Yeah, what's his name?
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, that's it. Legolas, what's his name? Legolas.
Yeah.
That's what he's really called.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see on that one. It doesn't that isn't I'm not looking at that, I think I've got to rush out and watch it.
I'm not a big fan of car chase films.
I don't really like car games.
No.
I've never been into racing games.
I didn't mind Gran Turismo, the games, when I was younger. the older I got, the less.
Doesn't lend itself to being a film, really, though. There's no story, is there?
I don't know.
You just collect cars.
You can make a film out of any one of those kind of games, and you can have a loose connection to it and stuff, and But it's that appeal of. And I'm going to come up with another video game movie off the back of this, but you've got Fast and Furious films are all over the place. They're so popular. Again, I think that not one of those films is a good film, in my opinion. I don't think any one of those are a good film.
Well, I think they tried to capture. I've not written on the list, so I haven't
watched the last couple.
But they did a Need for Speed film.
That's what I was going to say, and it had your man from Breaking Bad in it.
Science, bitch. Need for Speed, bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
But that was another. I saw someone online say this. Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
A good headcanon thing was someone put.
When he escapes.
When he escapes, he keeps driving, and it becomes the Need for Speed film.
Yeah, I think that's stupid.
Yeah, but if that's what you need to get through the film,
it's not a good. It's really not a good film at all. And it was again Aaron Paul. You're getting him fresh off of Breaking Bad, one of the most popular TV series of all time, and then you straight into this. And, he's going to be your draw watching this film, but they're kind of coming off the coattails of the Fast and Furious films. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Fast and Furious films, but they make a lot of money. They've got
people
an
watch them.
Yeah,
it's not. I've not really seen much of them, and it just doesn't look my kind.
No, and people can't tell people what they should or shouldn't enjoy, but people pay money to go and watch them, and that's why they keep making them.
Yeah. So we're moving on to video games that we think ought to be movies.
Well, I've got another one. I've got another one.
Sorry, go on.
Prince of Persia.
Oh my God!
With
Jake Gyllenhaal. About that. Yeah, that was bad.
It's god awful.
That was bad. I think my mind had deleted that, and you brought out this recycle bin.
But there are. Before we move on to games that could be films, there are a couple of films that are either loosely based on the premise of a game or a style of game, and there's another one which is based on games that existed, but they're introducing these into the film. And the first one is Pixels. So there's Pac-Man and stuff in there. It's not a good film at all. It's just one of these Adam Sandler just making a film with his
And
mates.
that's in a similar vein too. I've not written it down, but Wreck-It Ralph.
That was the other one I was going to say. Wreck-It Ralph isn't an actual game, but it's based on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, which I like that film.
I think Wreck-It Ralph is a really good film.
It's good. But I like it because it references things that I like.
But it's also got like Street Fighter characters and stuff like that, and like Bison and all that.
Yeah, it's all right for what it is.
Yeah, So they're obviously not based on actual games, and Pixels uses like Pac-Man and stuff like Space Invaders.
You hungry?
Yeah. It's got like the Space Raiders crisp packet. I always remember the guy on the front of it looked like David Bowie from Labyrinth.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
So I'll flash that up on screen.
Okay.
A bit freaky.
Yeah.
It's like I'm eating a crispy David Bowie. I can't put that in because
Right, moving on. So video games that ought to be movies. I think everyone's gonna think of this one straight away. Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been in the
How has that happened?
The work. I think Oscar Isaacs was rumoured to be playing Solid Snake.
There's been loads.
Do you know if you're going to make a film out of it though? Where do you start? Do you start from the Metal Gear game, the original Metal Gear from?
You'd have
NES?
to. I think you'd. Well, sorry, no. I think it would probably be the Metal Gear Solid. Yeah.
The thing is, you could do it with a like a title crawl at the start, a bit like Star Wars, by just explaining who Solid Snake is. I mean, everybody knows who Solid Snake is, but to somebody who's never played the games, you need something there to
maybe, but you could maybe do it in a way with show don't tell. It could be done.
You could do it.
He's just a mercenary at that point, isn't he?
But the whole story of it is Big Boss being his and Liquid's father.
But that don't come out till a lot later.
No, but that's all. But at the end of Metal Gear 2, excuse me, at the end of Metal Gear 2 on the NES. He tells him it's a very much an Empire Strikes Back moment. And that's kind of what he's lifted from. He tells Snake that he's his father. So
yeah, but actually, what you find out later is he's a clone of.
He's a clone of Big Boss. Yeah, both him and Liquid are clones. But
yeah, and then you've got Solidus Snake,
which
is but then it starts getting a bit convoluted. Then and it gets a bit out of hand.
It gets a bit too anime for my liking.
But that's the influence it comes.
Oh, it comes. Yeah.
So it's a bit like anime meets Escape from LA. Because I'm telling you,
or Escape from New York.
No, especially Escape from LA. I see a lot of Metal Gear Solid in that film.
Yeah. You can tell where the character of Solid Snake comes from the Escape films.
Well, they even
Snake
in
Plissken.
Metal Gear Solid 2, his code name is Pliskin.
Pliskin, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's clear as day. That is, isn't it? That's the main influence.
And he was voiced by David Hayter in the the iconic games before. Kiefer Sutherland.
Why on earth they did that, I do not know.
Kiefer Sutherland's a great actor, but he's not solid. He hasn't the right voice.
Well, we talked earlier about Chris Pratt taking over from Super Mario, right? And this was a very similar thing where Solid Snake had a very distinct voice.
But David Hayter, he also wrote the early X-Men film.
Yes, he did. Yeah. And there was a rumour around that time that Hugh Jackman could play Solid Snake.
Yeah, and at that time it would have been a good choice.
That would have been, because
he probably could still do it.
He probably, as an older chap now, he probably would be. I think he's a bit older. I probably still would go with Hugh Jackman.
I mean, Oscar Isaacs probably wouldn't be a terrible choice. I'm not quite sure.
I can't see in my head how that works.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, at one point I probably could have seen someone like Mark Wahlberg. No, I can't go.
No,
there.
But Hugh Jackman, like we've seen him in Logan, and it's a very similar.
The Rock,
Ryan Reynolds,
Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Bautista would be perfect for Vulcan Raven.
He would.
He'd be a great shout for Vulcan Raven.
He's already got the tattoos.
Yeah.
But that is a franchise begging for a good film.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that Hideo Kojima's been trying to get that off the ground for a long time.
I'm surprised. But what I would do, I'd strip a lot of it away.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of story. I mean, in the Metal Gear Solid 4, is it when it gets old?
Yeah.
There's one cutscene that's 45 minutes long, I remember.
I know, it was literally like watching a film.
It gets out of hand.
It does a bit.
But you could strip that down to a basic story and make a good film out of that.
Definitely. I think Oscar Isaacs probably wouldn't be the worst choice to play Solid Snake. He seems to be in everything at the moment.
Here's another one, Karl Urban.
Karl Urban would make a really good Solid Snake. Brilliant as Dredd.
Yeah, I would like to invite other candidates in the comments, please, if anyone's got any ideas.
Who do you think could play Solid Snake?
Yeah. Next one, you mentioned this one actually, Red Dead Redemption.
Either Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption 2 could make a great film. Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually a prequel of the first game.
Yeah, I haven't completed that yet.
Oh, I've completed it multiple times.
I need to go back and finish that.
But the character of John Marston, at the time when I was playing the first game, I thought the character of John Marston is somebody who used to be in a gang, and there's not a lot of depth to the character, but as you play the game, there is more depth and that is added to him. He's doing everything to try and save his family. But in the second game, which is the prequel, for those who haven't played the games, Arthur Morgan is your main character, and he has an awful lot more layers to him because he's got this whole past where he was an orphan on the streets and he was brought in by Dutch van der Linde and Hosea, and they started this gang, and then he ended up having a wife and a son, and his son passed away of tuberculosis or what have you. And so there's all this stuff that's happened in his past, and it kind of defines his character. But he's not a bad character. He's an outlaw, but he's not a bad character.
Just a rogue.
Even in the game, you can play him either as good or bad. But no matter what, how bad you want him to be, because you can be riding along and just start shooting random people and stuff, and you want your what you would call it, your level goes down. But he's still portrayed as the good guy. He's still
the protagonist.
And it's one of those ones where I kind of wish that Rockstar would have developed the game that the character changes how you play them, as opposed to the character's always going to be like this, and it's just a different ending by where your standing is in the world, as whether you're good or bad. But I think Red Dead Redemption 2 will probably be where you'd start with a film.
Yeah, and
with the gang.
I remember playing Red Dead Redemption, and I love a game where it's got just a story that hooks you in. The reason I haven't finished the second one, just open world games with so much. I ain't got time for them.
You're not a big fan of them, are you?
I like a linear experience.
I do like my open world games. I'm still waiting for the open world Star Wars game where you can just create your own character and I'm actually waiting for that open world Star Trek game, which is,
oh my god, that'd be great.
Star Trek Online it just isn't very good.
No, I mean it's a bit like The Witcher 3.
Yeah,
I've tried a couple of times to get into it, but there's a thing, right, where if these games were around 15 years ago, I'd smashed them.
Yeah,
but when you get into we're late 30s, you got a full-time life. it's very difficult to carve out. I might only have an hour here and there for a game,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, games like these, you need to invest hours.
It takes long enough to make these videos.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd like to see.
I think Red Dead would make a good. It's got a lot of influence out there. I mean, the games are heavily influenced by the spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood, and I believe the very first game that I think it was Capcom until it was picked up by Rockstar and developed. I can't remember the development.
It's Rockstar because it's like Grand Theft Auto.
It's all Rockstar. I think they've always been involved with it, but Capcom were the original developers, and then I think they may have, somebody else might have picked up, but it's all been Rockstar. But I think if you look at the original game's sleeve, the character of Red, whatever his name is, looks just like Clint Eastwood. So you can see the Clint Eastwood character, and John Marsden looks a bit like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, and I remember when I played spoilers, I was shook, you know, when John died.
Yeah,
and then you had to play as his son.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and then they had. I've still got it on my phone. The song that plays.
What's it called? It's Dead Man's Gun.
Yes, Dead Man's Gun
by Ashtar Command.
Yes. Yeah. I've got that song, and I think it's such a good song. And it was, I remember listening to it, and it's quite a long song as well.
Yeah.
And I was like in pieces. I was like, oh my God.
It's a great song. I used to play that at open mic. But
really?
At the end of Red Dead 2, there's another song. There's two versions of the song, and it depends on where your outlaw kind of setting is. If you're good or bad, there's a different version of the same song that plays, and it's That's the Way It Is. I can't remember who it's by. The song's called That's the Way It Is. It's a brilliant song.
What? I like it. That's the way. That one.
No. What is it? That's the Way It Is. One by Celine Dion. The Way It Is. It's called. Not the. That's the way it is.
Right.
The way it is. I'm just trying to find out who. It is called That's the Way It Is.
Sounds right.
So who was it by? It's called.
It's called what? Sorry.
Daniel Lanois, his name is.
Okay.
That's the Way It Is, and it's a brilliant song. And there's a live version on YouTube through Amazon Music of him and his band playing it, and it is fantastic. So I definitely recommend going to listen to that. So, right, so
I've got one last one.
You got another one?
Yeah, you won't know this game, I don't think, but I'll take any opportunity to talk about it, which is the Legacy of Kain games.
Oh yeah, the Soul Reaver.
Yeah. Did you play those?
Yes.
I fucking love those games. Right, they are so good. They're so rich and
I had it on PS1.
Yeah, so what they had is the original Legacy of Kain game, which is very different from Soul Reaver. It's based on your Kain.
Yeah.
You're the guy who would then become the antagonist in the later games.
Yeah.
But then it gets a bit, is he bad or is he good? And
anti-hero.
Very much, yeah. And then you've got a lot of time travel shenanigans, which are done quite well. You've got these really interesting characters and stories.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could do them as films, but I'd like to see them try. I would be first in line to watch that if they made that. But
you have to do it right. It's one of those you have to do it right. It's easy to get these wrong.
It is, especially where Kain is voiced by Simon Templeton.
Yeah.
And he's got such a distinct voice.
Yeah.
And he plays it so well. It's just like, I can't believe they've not had a crack at it. They don't even make the games anymore. I'm shocked. It's a really good IP. And I cannot believe they've not made more games or films out of it.
There's a couple more films that we haven't mentioned that are already games that are already filmed. So let's have a look. So there's so I had to Google this quick because I thought, there's the Final Fantasy film, Spirits Within. Yeah, came out in like 2000 or whenever it was.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a Warhammer film.
I was just going to say Warhammer was directed by.
Sorry, is it Warcraft? Sorry, I mean.
Yeah, Warcraft.
I get. Oh, that's bad. There'll be loads of people going mad about that.
Yeah, Warcraft film. That was directed by David Bowie's song. What's his name? He directed Moon. I forgot his name.
I think that was quite popular in China, wasn't it? That Warcraft.
Yeah,
they loved it.
I think so. I forget who directed it.
I prefer the South Park treatment. Make love, not Warcraft.
Yeah.
That's probably the best episode of South Park I've ever seen.
That is brilliant. Oh, who directed Warcraft? Come on. It would help if I actually written it down. I put Warcraft.
What? What?
So Warcraft, directed by. I hate IMDb sometimes. I put Warcraft and it's coming up with all the games. What was it called, Warcraft?
It's come up straight away, I think. Warcraft: The Beginning.
Is that what it's called, The Beginning?
2016? No way.
I didn't think it was. Duncan Jones.
Duncan Jones. Is that? Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah, he's David Bowie's son.
I can't believe how old this film is. Yeah. 2016.
Duncan Jones done some really good films. It's Moon and Source Code. Very good films.
Oh, right, yeah. Source Code was good.
Yeah, Source Code was really good. It's a multiverse film.
Oh, God. We should have mentioned that when we did that episode.
Yeah, did we not mention it?
I don't know.
So another one is Rampage with The Rock. That's based on a game.
I skipped past that because I don't really know the property.
I don't know the property either. It's another one called Monster Hunter.
Yeah, with Resident Evil lady.
Yeah. I don't know the game. Don't know the game at all.
Don't know it.
Max Payne with Marky Mark.
I haven't seen it. I've played the game, but
I've played the game. I've not seen it.
But it just looked to me like it wasn't going to be very good. So I skipped right by it.
So what's the ones with Agent Zero? You know, the shaved head.
Oh, Hitman.
Hitman. There you go. There you go. That's another one.
They are not great.
No, Timothy Elephant.
That's
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are not good films.
They are not good films whatsoever.
No.
Really bad. But I think we've run that well pretty dry now. There'll be others we've missed.
I've got another one.
Oh, go on.
Okay. I'm just going to spin this on its head a little bit. Films turn into games where the games are really good.
That could be a whole other episode, I think.
I'm going to mention a couple here, but we might dive deeper down to that.
This needs its own episode, but I'm interested to hear what you've got.
I actually think the Lord of the Rings Two Towers.
Oh, and the Return of the King
game. And the Return of the King game, brilliant. The Phantom Menace game on the PS1 was good as well.
That was sometimes I got stuck and I couldn't figure out what to do. But yes, the Two Towers game, that was, like, you're picking your character.
Yeah, the music,
And you're like, I'm right into it.
And you're Robocop. I said, dude, no, that's Terminator. That one, it's do.
Maybe it's similar, very, very similar then.
But I've got another one.
Go on.
And this was was my first real foray into open world games. Spider-Man 2 on the was it PS2?
That was the first time I can recall throwing the control pad at the TV.
And a non-FIFA related rage.
Yes, because the bosses were hard on that, but the boss at the end with Dr. Octopus.
Oh god, yeah, it was difficult.
And you had to keep dodging the tentacles, and you'd get so far. There'd be no, if I remember rightly, I don't think there's any checkpoints.
No,
and it took me a few days, and I remember being so close, and he beat me, and I just chucked it at the screen, and I was no.
Do you know the thing with that game was that I was so hooked on it, and my friends from college, because I was at college at the time, they were all hooked on it at the same time, and we're all like really like engrossed in it. And I've done this boss. Oh, I haven't done that one yet. I've gone to this one instead.
Yeah.
And you played the game in different. You did. It wasn't for me. It was that first time that you can just do whatever you wanted.
Because the first one, you couldn't actually go to the ground. You died.
Yeah, you could only swim.
It was only the skyscrapers, and it was just like mist.
Yeah.
Beneath. So that was, and a lot of the game was inside the buildings because they couldn't keep doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spider-Man 2 was true open world.
Yeah, it was
goodness.
It was a great game.
In fact, I've still got it around here somewhere.
Yeah.
While we're on to that then, because that was PS2 times.
Yeah.
Scarface, the game.
Oh god, yeah. And the Warriors.
I didn't play that.
Oh, Warriors is that's Rockstar as well. But Scarface was that was Rockstar, was it?
I'm not sure, but
Scarface. Yeah, we've mentioned this before.
It's obviously like a GTA style game, but the guy who does the voice, he was handpicked by Al Pacino.
Was he?
And he sounds just like him. And the premise of the game is he doesn't die at the end of the film. He gets like a rage meter and he goes, "Okay, come on."
I was like, okay, come on then.
He's from Manchester.
Come on then. You've got like Trevor Phillips in Grand Theft Auto 5.
But it's a really good game, and I got so into it, and it just the way he'd shout at people and stuff, it was good. And what I really liked about that game, and you don't see it very often in these types of games, is you could call your car and someone would drive it to you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good. Okay.
The last one, I think I wanted to mention, I say it's the last one because I might come on this else in a minute, there is a computer game franchise that hasn't been made into. Excuse me. There is a computer game franchise that hasn't been made into a film quite yet, but I think it's just been announced. Legend of Zelda.
I've just heard that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not very familiar with those games.
And I think Tom Holland has been cast as Link.
Right, of course.
So
and with Ryan Reynolds, I'm sure.
And The Rock.
And The Rock. Oh my God. That's interesting because I don't know the property well, but it doesn't look like it lends itself to being a film, really, unless they're going to do a CGI version.
I don't know. It's so rich with story from different games. It depends on which game or what have you can kind of use. The premise of the original game wouldn't work now because it's very princess gets captured and you have to go and save the princess, and that just doesn't fly.
But it just looks like a game, like Sonic. It's a how do you translate that? And they did it, but how do you do? I don't know it well enough. There'll be someone screaming now saying it's easy, but I'm unsure how that would be made.
Yeah, Tom Holland would be an interesting choice to play Link. He kind of looks like that character in a way, but Tom Holland is always going to be remembered for playing Spider-Man, and he's a very good Peter Parker. People have got their own opinions on Peter Parker. Who's the best Spider-Man? Is it Tobey Maguire? Is it Andrew Garfield? Or is it Tom Holland?
The best one is the guy who plays the princessy in The Little Mermaid, the voice actor, Christopher Summit or other.
Is he him who in the what do you call it?
The Fox cartoon.
Oh, is that the? Oh, right, okay.
We talked about this before, but
the
Fox cartoon is my Spider-Man. That was the perfect Peter Parker, perfect Spider-Man, and his voice is who I hear when I hear Peter Parker. So no one else to me has ever come close.
No, I'd have to agree with that. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's all right. I like all of them, but
I've always enjoyed because of the cartoon. I always like to think of Spider-Man as an adult.
Yes,
who's working at the paper and doing his college stuff at the same time.
Yeah,
Tom Holland, even though he's older now, to me still looks like a kid.
Yeah. I think in
I never enjoyed
Civil
High
War,
School.
I think he's 15 in Civil War.
Right.
Yeah.
I never enjoyed High School Spider-Man.
No, I know what you mean.
I like an older Spider-Man.
He'll always be renowned for that role, but he has done some other films which I think are really good. And one film in particular I just wanted to quickly mention is called The Devil All the Time. Right. And he is great in that film.
I haven't seen it.
I think it's on Netflix. It's really good. It's 7.1 on IMDb, but he's really, really good in that. And he's in another one called The Impossible, which is good as well. So. And that came out like 2012, and it's about the floods in. Remember when they had the tsunami?
Oh, was he
in Thailand? Yeah, I think he's
with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he's in. I remember him being in that. I think he's his son or something in that one as well. So,
wow.
But yeah,
Obi-Wan with his son Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just like Darth Vader. Where was I going with this one? Darth Vader was trained by Batman, and Darth Vader are both trained by the same person.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he went through a phase, didn't he, of mentoring in films.
Yeah. So I think we've probably exhausted our complement of video game movies, and
I'm sure there's loads out there that we've missed, or there's video games that you think should be made into films, and we've completely skipped by them or whatever.
Like Football Manager.
I'd watch that. I would, but
FIFA.
I'm surprised they've not made a FIFA film. But,
it's just for that people throwing their controllers against the TV.
Yeah, like me playing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, please, if there's any games that you think ought to be made into films, let us know, and we'll see what we think.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some really good ones there. There's some really bad ones there. So if you've got any that we haven't touched on, we may have missed something really obvious.
Yeah, probably. But that's what we do here.
Yeah, we miss the obvious.
Yep.
Anyway, we've been the Critical Cinema Club. I've been Colin.
I've been Sean.
And we'll see you very soon.
Goodbye.